Today is March 17th, 2024. My name is Jo Reingold, and I'm here with Janine Pulman talking about her recent trip to Israel. Hi, Janine.
Hello, Jo.
Tell us, what was it like the last time you were in Israel, and then what brought you to the mission that went recently through the Federation?
The last time we went to Israel, we went for multiple reasons. One, we go often, and we like visiting with family, with friends, seeing the liveliness and the excitement of Israel. But our niece, my nephew's daughter, my great niece, was in the Maccabi Games. So we went for the Maccabi Games and got to watch her in gymnastics. And that was the basic purpose of the trip. And then we stayed longer and just enjoyed being there. So that was it.
Wonderful.
And for this mission, when Israel gets into problems, issues, war, we just felt we needed to be there to be supportive in any way we could. We had planned to go in January, and when we got the information about the Federation mission, we knew that that was the way we should do it, because we knew we wouldn't really be able to do what we wanted to do on our own. So it was fulfilling our expectations.
Right.
That's why.
Tell us about some of the highlights and the things that you saw and did while you were there this time.
You know, highlights is an interesting word.
Or maybe whatever you want.
Yeah, it was, what's interesting is Charles and I had been on the Gaza envelope before. And as a matter of fact, we recently found a display board of pictures that we had made. We saw Kfar Aza, which we had already been to. We saw the fence, which we had already been to. And the memories of what the daycare rooms look like, and the memory of the beauty of the kibbutz, and all of that makes it very sad, and it made it very personal, knowing that we've been there, we've seen it, and how it had to change.
How long ago was that? When was that?
That trip was in
2014. Okay.
And
Yeah.
it was just, I mean, we even have a picture, which is silly, of us pulling carrots out of the ground. We were right there. The fields are right there. And that was the first time we had gone into a tunnel. So it's been with us for a long time, and it was just something we just needed to do and wanted to do in a supportive way.
So what were some of the most, I guess I'll say, memorable, if you want to call it that, moments that you had while you were there, and with your fellow travelers and with the leaders?
You know, I think I look at things differently often than Charles does. I mean, when we walked the streets of Jerusalem in the first couple of hours we were there, it was like definitely quieter. And that was distressing. Same happened when we walked around in Tel Aviv. As much hubbub as there is in Tel Aviv, there was a different feel to it. So that was obvious. It was also a sense of purpose. We were there in whatever way we could to express our support, our concerns, and to be helpful. So when we went to the different places that we saw, it was wonderful from a perspective of being able to be a witness and see what's going on and talking to people. But the best part was being able to actually talk to the families, talk to the individuals, to sit at a table with someone and then tell us how difficult it is for them. Family of 4, 5, or 6 living in one room in a hotel. The women complained about not being able to do their own laundry. Complained about not being able to cook. And how the kids have no place to play except in the
In the
lobby
lobby.
of the living room. And I said to Charles,
Mhm.
we're invading in their living space. And to me, that was really disheartening.
But they
It
probably
was-
were happy to have you, though.
I don't know if they paid
I
any
let-
attention to us
no.
because it wasn't about us.
No.
It was about them.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting. There was a woman who I noticed in Jerusalem that was wearing the same outfit every day, only because it was this sweatsuit type of outfit that looked like it had Disney characters or something on it. Seemed out of place for an adult, but I noticed she was in it every day, and I actually said to someone, I want to say to her, let me give you some money and you can buy yourself some clothes. But I didn't want to insult her. And after I made that statement, I didn't see her again. So I don't know if she changed clothes or if in fact she just left because people were beginning to start leaving. It was also very interesting that there were a group of bubbies that sat around the table playing Rummy Cube and some other games, and some of them were asked questions about how are you enjoying your stay here? And one woman said, this is great. I love not having to cook. I love everything being done for me. And she was probably in her 80s, and she deserved that. You know, she's lived through a lot of these. And so her perspective was totally different. And it was interesting to be able to hear all the different perspectives. And that was what was important to me. We also had an opportunity to go to a school. It was after school hours, and there was a special DJ who was there to bring, you've heard about
Yeah,
this.
no, that's good.
And they had, with the earphones on, you know, the dancing, and of course, it's not like I do that every weekend, but I have grandkids, and I figured, okay, I have grandkids. If my grandkids were in this situation, I'd want someone to dance with them. And of course, these kids looked at me like, oh, right. But I ended up picking a young little girl who was just holding desperately onto her father's hands.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, this is my kid. And I went up to her, and she was a little hesitant. She finally started coming a little bit more towards me after I just kind of started dancing around a little. And she moved a little bit, and then Kim Calliser came over. And Kim, being much younger than I am, just started bouncing away and dancing, and this kid let go. And seeing the smile on her face was phenomenal. And I videoed it, so I have a video of this. And afterwards, I went up to the father, because it dawned on me I didn't ask permission. And I showed him the video, and I asked him if he'd like it. And he said yes. So I felt that if nothing else, they have memories of some few fun minutes that they will probably always remember. We never asked any questions, you know. It wasn't about that. It was just letting the kids be kids. And they enjoyed it. And to me, that's what the importance of the mission was, to be that support.
Do you know anything about what had developed there was the partnership with that area, that the Dallas commitment now? Yes, what is that about?
I don't know a lot about it, but evidently the communities who are along the border have all suffered losses in both physical and, you know, people and everything else. And this was a good opportunity for Dallas to be able to attach to a city and partnership with them and to help provide. Some of it will be financial, and I don't know to the extent of anything else. But that when we first met with the people from Zakim, it was interesting because we really didn't talk about what we're going to do with them, at least not at the level that I was speaking with people. But we got to meet the people who were there, so at least it puts a face. I can see the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have pictures where when you're looking out from the rooftop of the building we were in, you could see Gaza on, you know, in this distance over here, and you see orchards or whatever they have along the line. You see all this greenery. Everything looked beautiful on this side of the fence. And it's close. And you understand what they deal with
Right.
on a day-to-day basis. So whatever Dallas is able to do through the fundraising, through any guidance, whatever it is, it will be nice.
So tell us a little bit about your extension. I know you stayed longer than the mission. What
We
did you
did.
do while you were there longer than that?
So after the mission was over, we got to see some friends and family, and of course every conversation is different, and sometimes you have to remember who had what conversation. But it was great. We did get to visit with friends and family, and we learned from their perspective what's going on, and we hear different aspects. One of our friends is big and is active, and I believe I don't know what her title is, with the Jewish Agency. And we met her when we went on the trip to Ethiopia with the Jewish Agency. And so we've developed this relationship that we've had, which is, I don't even remember what year we went, so it's been quite some time, close to 10 years. And we got to sit and talk with her and her family, and her parents were there with us. So that was nice. But I think what you're alluding to is after that weekend, we joined up at Sarel with the volunteer organization, and that places people on the Army bases.
Right.
And we were given bunks. Interestingly enough, I shared a room with a young woman who turns out Jewish geography. She knew some friends of my sisters, and typical. But it was an interesting experience because our job was to go on the base and to provide assistance where the typical Army reservist or whoever was in training would be doing the work. They're all gone. They're all in Gaza. So, or up north. So we were doing the work that needed to be done, and a lot of the work that we did was unpacking cases of medical supplies and then sorting them, and then others would repackage with those items that are in still good condition and make packages always to be in preparation for war. We did the same with sleeping bags. We folded sleeping bags, checked them for holes and tears, and then folded them and wrapped them. Everyone did different things. There were warehouses on the base. The bases are huge. I had no idea. And so we did that. We helped for 3.5 days.
Where was it located?
We were in Tel Aviv.
In the city proper, or outside of Tel Aviv? Right outside.
We were in Tel Aviv.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
You're in the back of a bus, and all you see is the seat in front of you. We were in Tel Aviv.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience.
What would you say to encourage people to go there this year if
It's
they're
safe.
hesitant?
I felt very safe. The first thing they tell you is where the shelters are, and I kind of wasn't listening, and then it dawned on me one night, oh my God, I didn't pay any attention. Where did they say those shelters were? And I just kind of chuckled. When I'm in Israel, I relax. I feel I'm not being naive, I'm aware, but I'm very comforted knowing that, okay, this was a blurb, and maybe I don't want to get into political stuff, but maybe the IDF wasn't watching as closely as they needed or listening. But I feel safe there. I felt safe walking at night. I wouldn't necessarily do that in Dallas, especially downtown Dallas. So I felt fine. I think it's okay to go. I think it's needed. The saddest part, I think, was walking into shops and people being so appreciative.
Nobody's shopping there hardly, right?
Because no one is shopping. And it's like, it broke my heart. It did.
So any lasting remarks, lasting impressions you'd like to leave with everybody about your trip?
Just go. Just go. Doesn't matter when. Don't wait too long. And then go again. I mean, that's what we've done. I know people who've never gone. I've known people who have gone once and go, okay, I can't imagine going again. And I just think you're missing out on too much. And it could be the type of trip you're taking, so, but it's a wonderful experience. And there's just a different feeling that overcomes me when I'm there. It's our homeland.
Well, thank you, Janine. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.